Hi, my name is BOHAN, and I'm applying for the Master of Statistical Science. And in this video, I'm going to focus on my research experience, especially in my paper Computer Mathematical Statistics applied in the housing price investigation through machine learning and linear regression model. And it's published on 2021 International Conference on Networks, Engineering, Algorithm, and Big Data. First, I want to talk about why I try to investigate housing price in Beijing. I was born and grew up in Beijing, so in the past 21 years, I witnessed how the housing price raised and how it influenced people's life. And Beijing is the capital of China, so there are a lot of people trying to move here so that they may have more job opportunities or their kids may take better education. And in Beijing, sometimes where you live may decide which of the school your kid is going to. So the factors like population, education, or like transportation, hospitals nearby, all those factors may have significant influence on the housing price in Beijing. And I want to buy a house in Beijing in the future on my own, so I try to investigate this in my first research. Second, I want to talk about my model selection. I chose auto-regression model to fit the data of housing price to see the trend of it. And I use the linear regression model with the lowest IC and random forest model to check how much the other factors influence the housing price in Beijing. About linear regression model and auto-regression model, I just learned them from the courses econometrics and time analysis. I think they are quite suitable in this situation, and I think applying the knowledge learned from the school to solve some problems in our real life can help me to understand them in depth. About the random forest model, it was recommended by my teacher Dr. Zhong, who guided me to do this research. He wanted me to know more about machine learning because it may become an important tool in my future studies and jobs. And I think applying machine learning on the investigation of housing price can be a novel one. Especially the random forest model, I think, is also quite suitable in this situation. More importantly, the results from the linear regression model, I mean those significant factors, and the results from the random forest model are quite similar. That means I found the inner law of the data. And I think at the same time, the results prove the validity of two models. Third, I want to talk about the difficulties in the research. I think sometimes finding proper data can really be a tough process when there are too many missing data in the data sets, or you just cannot find the data you really want on the internet. So the substitution is needed sometimes. In my research, for example, I used the trading volume of houses to substitute the demand for houses because I just could not find data of it on the internet. But sometimes, I think the high correlation between the substitution and the data you really want cannot be promised. Another difficulty is endogenous problem, I think. It's lucky that in my research, I didn't miss much of it, and all of my models passed the goodness of v-test and John Box test. That means endogenous problem in my research can be ignored. But through the papers I read, I know it happens frequently. And finding a proper instrumental variable can be really hard. And whether this kind of, instrumental variable is feasible in your model is another problem. I may meet this in my future research or studies, so I gotta pay much attention to it. Thus, I want to say this kind of research experience made me familiar with the whole process of doing research, and I think it will help me in my graduate school. It can make me, finish the projects or assignments in a more professional way. Oh, by the way, I'm a big fan of Kyrie Irving, and I know he's from Duke. And I also know there are a lot of basketball stars like R.J. Barrett, J.J. Redick, Zion Williamson, Ingram. They're all from Duke. And I also watched that documentary Blue Planet. I really love the culture of basketball there. So, as a big fan of basketball, it will be lucky to me to be a student in Duke.